How do you feel at the end of the day or at the end of the week? It makes a difference. And today we're going to talk about why on Coach's Corner. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner, Empowerment for Entrepreneurs. This is episode number 33, The One Thing. Today's episode is sponsored by the Marketing Network, profitable marketing training for business owners who want to get results fast. Visit us online at www.themarketingnetwork.tv. Use offer code COACH to save 25% on your membership. That's www.themarketingnetwork.tv. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Robert Imbriale, and I really want to get into this conversation today because we're right before Labor Day weekend, right? It's a big holiday weekend. Everyone's going to take off and get out of here. I'm here in the studio. I wanted to get done earlier. I didn't, but I wanted to really bring this up because this is one of the things that has been, I guess, a defining factor in a lot of the things that I've done over the years, and it is this feeling that you have either at the end of the day or right before a long weekend or very early in the morning when you first get out of bed. Now, as a person who worked in corporate America for a while, early on in my career, I always knew that the job I was in was no longer satisfying by the way I felt. And I didn't really realize it, but I started to pay attention to it after a while. And I recognized that at the end of the day, I would feel a certain way. I would feel excited. I would feel accomplished. I would feel joyful. And I knew I was okay. I could keep going, and the mornings was the same thing. It was like, if I really looked forward to getting out of bed and going to that job, I knew I was okay. But there always came a time for me, and that's how I know that I was an entrepreneur and not meant to work in an office setting, that I couldn't get out of bed. It was just like, oh, I really didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go there. It's not a place I wanted to be. I'd sort of gotten tired of it, and I wanted to do something else. And I really didn't realize at the time, but I was really onto something here, and it's something that I've been teaching my clients for years. It's like, how do you feel in the morning when you wake up? Are you energized? Are you excited about what's coming up? I always ask the question, what is it that keeps you up late at night and gets you out of bed early in the morning, right? And if you're not experiencing those things in your life, well, maybe you want to start making some different decisions. And for me, back in 1995, this happened, and I was working for a company. I was director of marketing. I was reporting right to the president, multi tens of millions of dollars a year in business. We had 50 employees, it was really going well. But at some point, I got to the stage where I just knew it wasn't working for me anymore. It was really hard to get out of bed. It was really hard for me to get motivated to go to this place on a regular basis. Okay, it's like another day of what exactly? And what I had done is I had worked really hard when I first got there. A lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, really wanted the job, got it, but I got to the point where I did as much as I could possibly do. And it really got to the point where the next step for me was to really be the owner of the company, right? Be the president of the company. And I knew the guy who was running it and owned it, and I knew he wasn't going anywhere. So I literally had the conversation with him, and I said, listen, what I really want out of this is next step for me is really to sit in your seat. I know you're not going anywhere. He goes, no, I'm not going anywhere. So I said, here's the next best thing. I'm going to leave, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you as a consulting client, and I'm going to give you the marketing advice, the strategies, the things that I've been giving you, but I'm not going to work here full time anymore. And he was sort of shocked. He said, well, most people come in here and ask for a raise, and here you are, asking for a reduction in salary and less work. And he agreed. And he was my first client. This is back in 1995. He was my first marketing consulting client. And I was able to get out of there and find things in my day that really inspired me, things that really keep me up late at night, literally. Some nights I'd be on the computer 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because I was so enthusiastic. And really, 1995, we're on the computer. I know a lot of people didn't have computers back then, but I did. I had computers since really 1981. I had my own computer. So I've been on computers for a long time, and I was really excited about what I was doing. Internet marketing became a thing for me way back when, in 1995. I mean, who knew, right? Who knew that was going to be as big as it turned out to be? Well, I had the feeling that it was, and I was so passionate about it, and I wanted to do more and more and more of it. Not only that, I wanted to work with more and more business owners. And I've been doing that over the years and having a lot of fun with it. And I tell you, there are some days that, I might have that, I don't feel like getting up today. And then I just look at my calendar and I go, well, look at the things I put on the calendar. Now I'm in control, so I get to change that. So a lot of the things that don't excite me anymore no longer appear on my calendar. I've learned over the years what's exciting, what's motivating, what's inspiring, and things that aren't, mostly are off my calendar. I can't be 100%. I do try, but it is not easy to be 100%. There are some times you got to come in and do things. You got to do some administrative tasks that I really hate to do, but you got to do them. And there's really not a great way around that. So I want to look at, I want to look at your life. I want you to look at your world, and I want to look at it from the perspective of, are you inspired? At the end of the day, are you asking this question? This is the one I ask. It's a very simple question. How do you feel when your day is all done? Literally, what's going on? How are you feeling? And that tells you a whole lot. If you can really figure that out, if you can really pay attention to that at the end of the day, how are you feeling? In the morning when you wake up, how are you feeling? If it's less than inspired, maybe you may want to make some choices, make some decisions, right? A lot of people will tell me, well, at the end of the day, SSDD, same stuff, different day. Or somebody might say, it's like, I don't really feel that great at the end of the day. Or somebody else might say, well, I survived, right? We know those kind of people. I've survived the day. Is that really what you want to be able to say? Or, do you want to feel accomplished? Now, for me, this is a big word. And I got to tell you something, feeling accomplished is the key to all of this. And I'll give you some ideas about this. Sometimes you come to the end of the day and you don't feel like you've gotten anything done. You've not made any progress, right? A lot of people will say, I haven't moved the needle today. So I like to move the needle every single day. And I like to get things going forward on a daily basis. What that means is every day I'm going to do something a little bit more that's going to bring me in the direction of what I'm trying to create. So the business I'm trying to build, what can I do today to move that business forward? And sometimes it's very small. Sometimes it's writing an email. Sometimes it's, write an article. Sometimes it might be just, filling in a survey or, something very, very tiny. But there's always something. If you don't have the big thing in your day, look for the little thing in the day. Look for anything that could give you that feeling of accomplishment so that when you walk out of your business at the end of the day, when you walk out of your office, when you walk out of your workspace, you can go, I feel accomplished. I feel like I've done something today. Maybe for me, a lot of times it's just I learned something. Today I was working on a project, for instance, of doing something that I hadn't done before, a new email service provider, and I needed to make a form, do something that, their particular service is completely different than anything I'd ever seen before, and I was able to get the programming right, so the form did exactly what I wanted it to do. Small thing, but I felt accomplished. It felt good. Another thing, maybe I got a video uploaded on YouTube, or maybe I got to the point of doing my podcast, or maybe I made connection with someone that I've been thinking about making connection with for a long time and hadn't gotten around to it. Boy, I tell you, those things that are on your list that, you should have done, you expected to do, you haven't done yet, that's a great place to start. Is there anything on the list that you could just click on, get done, or make a phone call, or send an email, or find a phone number? I mean, it might be as simple as that, or look up a direction, or do a Google search, or something very small sometimes makes a very big difference. It actually moves things forward. Now, a trick that I use, and I'm going to give you this as a sort of a mind starter, if you will, just to get your head around it a little bit. One of the things I really love is a program called OneNote from Microsoft. Now, Evernote is almost the same thing. Whichever one you choose, it's great. It'll work for you. If you're happy with it, then that's the tool. I don't really get that excited about the tool. I don't really care which tool you use. Use the one that works for you. OneNote works for me. Why? It's on my phone. It's on my iPad. It's on my laptop. It's on my desktop. It's pretty much anywhere that I am, anytime if I'm in front of a computer, I'll have access to it. Now, why is this important? Because that list I told you about, the things that never get done, guess what? I've got one of those, right? And I have all the things that are in there that, things that need to get done but aren't scheduled yet. They're just a list. And one of the things that's really neat about it is that wherever you happen to be, you can stop and you can put the note in there. So when you think of something, instead of forgetting about it, you can just write it down. And it's in there, and it synchronizes with all your devices. So no matter where you happen to be, all your notes are always in sync all the time. And that's really a great tool for me, because if I'm sitting in a coffee shop somewhere with a client or a friend and having a conversation, something comes up and, I got to remember that. Pull out the phone, open up OneNote, type it in real quick, bang, it's done. I don't even have to hit the save button. And no matter where I am, like I said, it'll synchronize everywhere. And it's a really cool thing, because then you get those days where, I'm not feeling accomplished. It's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, time for me to get out of the office and head home. And I'm not feeling accomplished yet. Is there anything on that list that I can take a stab at? And oftentimes I'll find things like, well, look at this. I could send an email to this person, or I can make a phone call, or, I can start the ball rolling on something. I can open up a file. I can, whatever. It may be a very small thing, but it makes a big difference because how you feel literally is everything. Now, you might think, well, how I feel, that's really not that important. I feel different every day. Great, that's true. We have a vast amount of emotions. Some days are great, some days aren't so great. But the truth of the matter is you want to work on that. You do have some control over it. And if you can get yourself to feel better every single day, you're going to do better in your business. So here's what I like to feel at the end of the day. I like to feel like I am on fire. Now, this may not be for you. You may not want to feel like you're on fire. Maybe, just maybe, all you want to feel is accomplished. That's great. But the last thing you want to feel is unaccomplished, unsuccessful. Oh my gosh, I spent the whole day, nothing happened. It's just more of the same. That's the worst place for you because here's the trick. Over the long term, if you're not feeling good about what you're doing, if you're not feeling excited about what you're doing, if you're not feeling accomplished about what you're doing, guess what's going to happen? Is it going to get better over time or is it going to get worse? It's going to get worse. You're going to become less and less motivated about doing your business and building your business and working on your career. And as you get less and less motivated, you become less and less successful. It becomes harder and harder and harder. So this becomes a tool that creates something called momentum. And the momentum is really the key to any successful business, right? You want to have a lot of momentum in your business. Well, how do you create it? It's a day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour process that you go through. And you're always looking for, okay, what can I do? What's the next step that I can take to move things forward? Like OneNote for me is open on my desktop. It's open on my iPad that sits next to me. And it's open on the laptop that sits on the other side of me because it doesn't matter which screen I'm on. I'm going to jump back and forth. And everything that I know I need to do to move the needle forward is in there. And I do a very simple thing. I have one simple page in there. There's no special software. And what I do is I put in order of importance the things that I need to do each day. And I come in the morning and I say, okay, what's the number one thing I need to get done today? And believe me, it doesn't always happen. Right? There's some days that stuff comes up, computers don't work, or phone calls come in, or emails come in from clients. They need stuff. And I don't even get to my list till the end of the day, or sometimes I don't get to it at all. Right? That's just life. But I know by keeping things in priority and keeping things in front of me that the chances that they're going to get done are much, much, much higher. So I spend a lot of time on that list. I refine it every single day. I revise it. I move things around. This is not a priority for tomorrow. Maybe I'll make it a priority for next Monday. Whatever it is, I can move it around. I can play with it a little bit. And really, it works with me. So at the end of the day, I'm feeling like, wow, I'm on fire. I've created something. I've done something. I move the needle forward. I got a phone call. I got a client to call. I reached out to a new list, or I'm going to be interviewed by a new, organization that I hadn't spoken to before. And I'm going to meet a whole bunch of new people, or, invited to a party, or there's always something that's coming along that's moving the needle forward because I'm working at that. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you're lucky. Things just happen for you. No, things just don't happen for me. If I did nothing, I promise you, nothing would happen. Look in my inbox. Nothing's going to happen in that inbox unless I'm putting content out there on a regular basis. That's what I do. I go out there and I make sure that there's stuff happening every single day. Everything that I know that I need to do to move the business forward, little things, small things, big things, whatever it is, I get some done. So at the end of the day, I feel like, wow, I'm on fire. I got momentum and things are rolling. Worst case, I'm feeling accomplished, right? That's sort of the one notch below that. Feeling like I accomplished something today. It wasn't a great day, but at least I can walk away with a feeling of accomplishment. The worst thing is to feel like your day was wasted, and that's going to happen. It happens to me. It happens to everybody, but you want to try everything you can to avoid that because that is a momentum killer. And you and I are not into killing momentum. We want to build that momentum. We want to feel better at the end of the day, not worse. So look for that feeling of accomplishment, even if it's something small. Look for something that makes you feel good, something that you can do that will change the game for you. And at the end of the day, if you're feeling good, chances are you're going to start the next day feeling good as well. One of the hardest things to do is coming out of a day previous and saying, I don't feel good. I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. I feel like the day was a total waste. And then how do you get yourself motivated to get into the next day? So I talk about momentum. Finish the day strong, start the next day strong. The chances of finishing the next one strong are good, and starting the next one strong, and all of a sudden you're in this pattern where things are working, and that is the kind of momentum that you really want to create in your business. So if you're asking me what my success strategies are, how do I teach them? Well, a lot of this is what I teach them, my clients, and I live it myself because I know it makes a huge, huge difference. Simple. Anybody could do this, but very few people think of it in these terms, and I encourage you to give that some thought. I think you'll find that it'll help you tremendously in terms of building your business and make it a whole lot more fun too. I mean, at the end of the day, if it isn't fun, you're not going to do it, right? No one's going to force you to do it, and the only reason we're in business is because we enjoy what it is we do. Okay, with that, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsor today. Our sponsor is the Marketing Network, marketingnetwork.tv. I invite you to go have a look over there and see some of the experts that we have involved. Silvika Raska comes to mind, and Terry Levine, and Dr. Roberta Shaler. I mean, it's really, really good, strong, solid, smart people who really came along and came to the Marketing Network with an open mind and decided, hey, I'm going to share some great content. They all did. And those video interviews, and I call them mini courses really, are available for you on the marketingnetwork.tv. When you become a subscriber, you get access to everything that's in there for one low price. And right now, if you were to subscribe, you would find that there's a ton of videos in there. The interviews are really good, high quality videos available on every device. And for the time being, if you use the offer code COACH, you're going to save 25% on your membership. So go to themarketingnetwork.tv, themarketingnetwork.tv. Remember, offer code COACH will get you a 25% savings. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Coach's Corner. And remember, if you have questions, I want to do some viewer mail, but I haven't gotten a whole lot of viewer mail yet. So I want some viewer mail. You could send me your questions at robert@ultimatewealth.com. Same email address, by the way, has been my email address literally since 1999, if you can believe that. I know a lot of people change their email addresses like they change their underwear. I don't. I keep mine the same, robert@ultimatewealth.com. Send me an email and we will do some viewer mail in future episodes of this podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and I look forward to doing this again real soon. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. And remember, momentum is key. Get it going.